Well, it's been a big week in the world of AI. We've got lawsuit updates. Meta has actually hired some people. OpenAI has released some updates to ChatGPT. Let's talk about it. We talked last week about how Meta is aggressively seeking to hire AI talent from across the industry. Mark Zuckerberg and some other executives at Meta have what's known as the list internally, which apparently I'm not on. But the list, not surprisingly, lists some of the top engineers and researchers that Meta wants to recruit in order to staff Mark Zuckerberg's new superintelligence lab that he wants to build. This superintelligence team is going to be led by Alexander Wang, who is the founder of Scale AI. You remember last week that Meta just bought a 49% stake in Scale AI, and they brought in the founder of that organization to lead up their superintelligence team. Zuckerberg's memo listed 11 new hires, including researchers from Google, DeepMind, OpenAI, and Anthropic that have joined the Meta Superintelligence Lab. What's fascinating is that 8 of those 11 people have come from OpenAI. As people who work in the news business, you're probably pretty familiar with the drama that surrounds AI systems crawling publisher websites, taking the content that's on those websites and being trained off of it, and essentially regurgitating that content on their own systems for free. Cloudflare is testing a system that lets publishers charge AI bots to access their content. They're calling it pay per crawl. So here's how pay per crawl is supposed to work. Cloudflare will detect traffic that's coming from an AI crawler, and then based on the publisher's choice, the AI bot can be allowed to access the site for free, it can pay to access the site, or it can just be blocked altogether, not even be allowed to read the content. And if chosen, Cloudflare will collect a micropayment from the AI bot, which it passes on to the publisher. It's an interesting idea because Cloudflare is already pretty widely used in the industry, and it allows a potentially scalable way for creators to get compensated as AI continues to use and be trained on their work. We talked a little bit about this in the last video, but there have been some court cases that have come down in the favor of AI. Anthropic won a key ruling that says that it's okay for them to have trained their AI in books that they bought. The judge said that it was legal for Anthropic to buy physical books, rip the bindings off, and scan them and use that text to train their AI because they paid for those books. However, the judge didn't let Anthropic totally off the hook. The judge found that their copying and storage of over 7 million pirated books was not fair use and actually did infringe on authors' copyright. So they set a separate trial for that. Meta won a similar court case where some authors had sued the company because they said Meta's AI had illegally copied their books. But in court, the authors couldn't prove that Llama could actually give out entire books. Rather, it just showed small pieces of them. The judge went on to say that Llama is not capable of generating enough text from the plaintiff's books to matter. These rulings have had some waves in the industry to the point where Getty, the owner of iStop, actually dropped copyright claims against Stability AI, which is an AI image generator. Now, they didn't drop the entire case, but they did drop the piece about copyright, which is interesting given the other rulings that happened this week. Finally, OpenAI has released connectors to its paid users. Connectors already exist in Gemini, and they exist in ChatGPT to some capacity, but OpenAI is expanding the amount of connections that they now allow. So now you can connect ChatGPT to your Slack, to Google Drive, to Dropbox, and allow the AI to interact with the content that you have in those places. Well, those are all the updates that I have for this week, but obviously there's a lot here, and there's a lot that's still ongoing and growing and developing. So I'm excited to see what updates we'll have to cover next week.